So, starting this video quickly, I want to make it clear, Forsaken is a genuinely great game, and you should play it. But the real question a lot of people have been asking is why? Seeing as at one point I also did not like Forsaken, I feel I have a better understanding of why it's great and why people may not like it. That's what I'm going to be covering in this video, and why I think it's one of the most unique games on Roblox. Before I actually get into the gameplay, I want to make it clear this will be purely about the gameplay and enjoyment of Forsaken. I'm not going to be covering the controversies of the creators, and please don't use anything in this video to harass any other people. Alright, now getting into the actual video, the general gameplay of Forsaken is basically kind of like Dead by Daylight, if you've ever played that game. The game will have 3 to 8 survivors and 1 killer, with the killer's goal being to kill all the survivors, and the survivors will have to survive against the killer. That's kind of obvious. While completing generators around the map, and other objectives that are to be added into the future. The game currently has 9 maps, and all of them are pretty fun and unique, except for Ulrich's resting place. The maps can be scaled into 2 sections: small generator maps with 3 generators, smaller running space, and large generator maps which have 5 generators, more running space, hiding space. Adding on to this, there are also certain environmental dangers, such as walls killers can walk through but survivors can't, pools that'll give you poison or bleeding or status effects that can really lessen your chance of survival. Moving on to some of the characters, I feel this is where the game really thrives. Currently for the survivors, Forsaken only has 10 survivors, and I'll be going over some of them, and I'll save the rest for a future video. Now originally, at the game's release, the only free character was Noob, but in the recent rework for 2-time, Elliot and Shedletsky became free as well. I think this change is great because it gives many different playstyles and character types in Forsaken, and gives new players a chance to experience them all. Starting out with Noob, he's a survivalist type, meaning he doesn't really have anything offensively, and his abilities can only benefit himself. The main playstyle around these types of characters are basically just run and survive until the round is over. Next up is Elliot, being a support class. The main goal of Elliot is to the main goal of supports in general are just to hide behind these sentinels and support the team. Kind of obvious. These can probably be the hardest to play because of their decreased HP and bad teammates. Moving on to Shedletsky, the last free character in the update. He's a sentinel type character, and these are one of the hardest to play as well, because they usually end up dying first. Sentinels have some minor offensive abilities, but their main goal is to slow the survivor down and give their team a chance to escape first. This can be bad in some cases, as if the sentinel misses their attack and gets killed, it will add time onto the round. So overall, the 3 free characters in the game are pretty showing of Forsaken's character types and playstyles. Having the new free characters really can make any new player understand the gameplay better and possibly enjoy the game more because of it. So, as I said earlier, if you're someone who has not enjoyed Forsaken and you haven't played before this update, you may want to try it now just for the new characters. Moving on to the next playable characters in the game, killers. Compared to the 10 survivors in the game, there are only currently 4 killers in the game as of now. I'll go over all of them in this slightly, starting with the one you get for free, Jason. Jason is not only based off of the movies Friday the 13th, but also the old Roblox game Survive and Kill the Killers in Area 51. He is probably one of the worst killers, in my opinion, because he has no ranged capacity in his kit, meaning you have to actively be chasing the survivors at all times in order to do any damage. Next up, Cool Kid. Cool Kid is based off of the hacker 007N7. If you've been on Roblox for a long time, you probably know the story, but 007N7 was his main account, and Cool Kid was an alt account he used to mass hack games like Work at a Pizza Place and Natural Disaster Survivor. He is probably one of my favorite survivors, but probably the worst right now due to his abysmal 800 HP, letting him get destroyed by 2 times if there's enough of them. Now, what is important to know, in Forsaken, it is very different from, like, Roblox history. So, in the lore of Forsaken, instead of Cool Kid being an alt of 007N7, Cool Kid is the adopted son of 7N7. And the lore makes it a lot more interesting. The way they use, you'll see especially with this next 2 killers, the way they use Roblox history and myths really makes the game a lot more interesting. The way they mix it in with their own stories as well. Right. Next up is John Doe. He is based off of the myth of the test account, John Doe. He's very he's not situated. He's probably the smartest killer you have to play. Like, his kit, unlike others, has a lot of trapping moves where instead of throwing a projectile and hurting them or dashing towards them, you have to, like, place pit traps, set up walls, corner your opponents. This probably makes him the hardest character to play and also the hardest character to counter. Now, the absolute skill of the skill that this character requires is benefited by his 2 amazing passives, which makes it so he can only be stunned for 2.125 seconds, and the other one, which makes it so whenever you walk, you leave behind a corrupted trail. Next up, 1x1, X1X1. He is based off of Shedletsky's test account. For the rest of this, I'll be referring to him as 1x1, because I'm not saying it 8 times for the script. 1x1 is overall a pretty balanced killer, but he definitely has a lot of abilities. He has 2 projectiles, a move which is able to highlight players, he can summon minions, and overall, he's kind of broken. But the main way you can counter him is just verticality, because unlike Cool Kid and his projectile corrupt nature, none of 1x1's projectiles can have any upward. They can have no upward momentum. You can only shoot them forward, so getting any verticality can help you dodge those. On top of this, if 1x1 were to attack one of his minions that he summons, he would also gain a temporary speed boost. Overall, out of all the killers, the best right now is probably John Doe because of his amazing health pool, which is needed for those 2-time lobbies, and his advanced trapping playset. One of the main problems and complaints I see about Forsaken is the lack of lore. Now, this is very false if you actually know, but Forsaken is filled with lore. Some of it is currently just permanently gone, deleted, because the day before TAF was released, the Discord server for Forsaken was just nuked by spam bots and all stuff of the sorts. So you have to kind of go out and find screenshots for more of the obscure lore. But basically, to boil it down, the Forsaken Realm was one created by an entity named the Spectre, and any survivors in the game are taken there by the Spectre after feeling like an intense negative emotion or something. It's kind of weird trying to figure it out. An intense and negative emotion like grief or sadness, which is probably the way 2-Time was taken in, because in his lore, he was part of a cult that worshipped Spawn. The cult leader, whose name is currently unrevealed, but may be the formerly scrapped character Amareth, the cult leader had set them both out to achieve respawn, but in order to do this, 2-Time had to sacrifice the life of his friend Azure, which, from the milestone skins, we know that 2-Time most likely deeply regrets. Milestone 4 does kind of push back on this, as the picture of Azure and 2-Time is crossed out with new writing that says, like, all for the spawn or something. I'll put it up. Moving on to the last section, upcoming content. Now, for now, Forsaken is limited to 14 playable characters, and overall all of them are pretty good, but if you go to the Forsaken wiki, you have to check it there now, because the Discord server was nuked. There's a ton of upcoming content, like TAF milestone skins, Dusukar milestone skins. Wait, I think those were released already. New maps, new survival, new survivors, new killers, like Noli, Azure, Jane Doe, Stickmaster Luke, Cerulean, and all of the sorts. This is probably the one point of the video where I will have something negative to say. Some of the upcoming content is, in my opinion, not that good. Like, I may be wrong, a lot of people are hyped for it, but I'm not really excited for Cool Killer or Sonic EXE to be in Forsaken. But you know, if they can do well, they've done well with every other kit in the game. If they can do well with those ones that I think is a bad idea, then I believe, you know, I'll grow accustomed to it, I'll like it. But currently as it stands, I don't like the idea of just these, like, I don't like the idea of them. Because it's like, because it just seems so off of everything else they've added. Like, I find very few people who want scary, Blood Eye Sonic to be in Forsaken. Overall, wrapping this video up, Forsaken is pretty good. Should you play it? Yes, I think you should. If it's, at least try it. If it's not for you, you ain't gotta play anymore. But if you've judged it unfairly, like I have in the past, or just haven't played it, give it a try. It's pretty fun, and it might surprise you, especially if you play with friends. The video, special thanks to Pokeboy75, Human SD Card, and Ducky for their help in the mains and stuff like that. And special amazing thanks to Spikies for this character art that's been on screen for the whole video. That's all. See you next time, Signals.